Welcome to another episode of the Get Your Mind Right, Get Focused podcast, the place where we get real about confidence, mindset, and living the type of life you were meant to live. I'm your host, Herb Smith. And in the last episode, we talked about 7 strategies on building self confidence. In this episode, I want to go over some things that can destroy your confidence because it's important that we understand that there's a counterpart to everything. And it's also important that you know what that counterpart is, especially when you're trying to achieve something. So, in this episode, I have some examples of some confidence destroying habits that we sometimes carry and deal with internally and externally, sometimes without knowing. And it could be what's interfering with you being confident in yourself. So, without further ado, let's get started on the first internal factor or habit that you may be carrying and dealing with. And that is negative self-talk. So we talked a little bit about this in the last one, but I would like to talk a little bit more in depth in regards to negative self-talk. When we talk about negative self-talk, we're referring to you criticizing yourself, you doubting yourself, feeling like you're not good enough to do whatever it is that you want to do. Right there is the key word. It's something that you want to do. But for some reason, you telling yourself that you're not worth or it's something that you're not capable of doing. And you're strengthening that disbelief within yourself rather than strengthening the belief in yourself. When you criticize yourself, you become your own worst enemy. And if you can be your own worst enemy, then you can be your own best friend. So why not choose being your best friend and telling yourself that you can do something? All you have to do is put your mind to it. All you have to do is be willing to go through whatever it is that you have to go through in order to make whatever it is that you want to make happen. There's always a counterpart, okay? It's just a matter of how it is that you're looking at it. If you're looking at it as something that you can't accomplish, then you're not going to be able to accomplish it. If you look at it as something that you can accomplish, yes, you may face some challenges, but you eventually will be able to accomplish it. You just have to be willing to face those challenges because even when you're criticizing and telling yourself that you're not good enough, you're creating challenges for yourself to make it impossible for you to achieve or accomplish whatever it is that you want to achieve or accomplish. So you have to stop telling yourself all these negative things. You have to stop beating down on yourself. You have to stop disbelieving in yourself. You have enough people out there in the world who don't believe in you. You have enough people out there in the world who are going to criticize you, who are going to put you down. So you don't want to be the main person who's doing it to yourself. You want to be the person who's building yourself up because you never know when you don't have anyone in your corner. So you must always be in your corner. You must always be the one that's cheering you on. No matter who is cheering you on from the outside or who is not cheering you on, no matter who is believing in you or who is not believing in you, you must always stand your ground and be about your business, be about yourself. Okay? The next one is perfectionism. All right? Perfectionism is when you feel like you have to do everything right. It always has to be correct the first time. And then when you don't get it correct, then you go to that negative self-talk. That's where you start criticizing yourself. You start dwelling on mistakes that you've made. And then you start doubting yourself. There's no such thing as perfection. There's no such thing as being flawless in every act in your life or every situation in your life. You're going to always make some mistakes. You're going to always do some things the wrong way. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. That's how you build. This is something that I myself had to recognize with myself, especially with being a graphic designer, because I'm always trying to be meticulous with my designs and get everything on point and the colors right, the designs and every angle right. But then at one time I can feel like I got it, and then weeks or months down the line, I can go back and look at it and feel like I could have done something better. It's the same thing with doing what it is I'm doing right here with you right now. I can go back and look at the way I talked about whatever topic I may be talking about and feel like I should have said this or I should have done that. But really, that's an area where I can grow in. So instead of dwelling on what I could have done, I can look at what I could do better the next time. And that's what I'm saying to you is don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about getting it right. Just worry about getting it done. And then once you get it done, you can go back and look at it and you can analyze it from that point. How could I have done it different? What could I have said different? How could I have went about it in a better way? What did I do correct? How could I even do it even better the next time? Always look for the positive in it. Always look for where you can grow, where you can benefit, where you can get better, and where you can get stronger, and whatever it is that you're doing, because that's the only way that you're going to grow. If you don't make mistakes or errors, then you're not going to be able to grow. All right. That's the only way we can grow. That's the only way that we learn is by making mistakes and making errors. Now, the thing is not to get caught up in looking at it as a bad thing, because that's where the negative self-talk starts coming in, where you start criticizing yourself and you start telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not worthy. Again, you need to not look at it from a negative standpoint because it's not negative, especially when you can grow and when you can learn from it. It's a positive thing, but you have to see it as being something positive because you're getting something good out of it. The next one is comparing yourself to others. Comparing yourself to others is a big one. Excuse my writing, but comparing yourself to others is a big one because when you start looking at other people and what they're doing and how they're going about doing it, especially when it's something that you yourself want to do, you start feeling like you have to do it on the level that they're doing it. When all you really have to do is just get started. Sometimes you have to bring yourself back to reality and realize that whoever it is that you're watching, they had to start somewhere as well. They didn't just start off the way that they are. They had to begin from a starting point and then grow to the point or level that they are right now, that you're seeing them at. And when it comes to social media, you have to keep in mind that a lot of social media is a facade. It's not real. People are out here portraying to be something that they're not. So you can't get caught up in watching what other people are always doing. But again, like I said, if it's something that you want to do and you're sitting here learning from someone else, in fact, I'll use myself as an example. When I would listen to other people out there doing their speaking engagements or listen to other podcasts or watch other webinars, and then I go and I want to do it on the level that they're doing it on, but I'm not at the level that they're at this time. And I had to rather remind myself that they had to start somewhere. And if you really listen to a lot of them, they'll tell you, just start, just begin where you're at. So it's really us who get ourselves caught up in that thought phase of, I have to be like them, I have to do it like them. That's where you start feeling like you're not good enough. That's where you start feeling like you're not worthy, and all those negative feelings start creeping in, is because you're lowering your self-esteem, you're finding your anxiety level heightening, and then you end up into a stage of depression because you feel like you're not worthy, like you're not good enough. This is all negative self-talk. This is all These are habits that we're carrying and dealing with on a daily basis, sometimes without even knowing. So my thing is to make you become more aware of what it is that you could be doing that's destroying your confidence in yourself. Stop looking at other people. Stop worrying about what they're doing. Think about what it is that you want to do, how you're going to go about doing it, and start doing it. On to the next one. Neglecting self-care. All right. Neglecting self-care It's not prioritizing sleep, healthy eating, or exercising. Not doing these things can wear you down, wear your body and your mind down, reducing energy and focus, which undermines your confidence. When you're not taking care of yourself, how are you supposed to operate at your best? When you're not getting enough rest, when you're not eating properly, when you're not doing all of the necessary things that keep you strong mentally, physically, and spiritually, you're not going to be able to operate at your best. You're not going to be able to focus. Your mind is not in the right place at the right time. You're all over the place. You're dealing with a whole bunch of unnecessary nonsense. You have to start being serious about you. If you're going to be serious about whatever it is that you want to do, you have to start being serious about you. And again, it doesn't have to be the most grandiose thing that you want to do. It could just be being successful at your job. It could be being successful in school. It could be being successful in whatever it is that you want to do. It could be the smallest thing or it could be the biggest thing. But if you don't first take care of yourself, it's going to interfere with you being able to handle your business properly and in the correct manner. Okay? So you have to stop neglecting self-care and start taking better care of yourself. The next one is letting fear control you. Letting fear control you. Allowing fear or failure, judgment, or unknown to dictate your actions can prevent you from taking risks and pursuing goals. The best way that I heard fear is in an acronym called false expectations appearing real. False expectations appearing real, where you're expecting something to happen that hasn't happened and may not even happen. It's a false expectation. You're creating this belief in your head, which is seeping into your spirit and your body through your mind, through thoughts, creating a feeling, and then you're actually seeing it happen when it hasn't even happened. And it may not even happen. So now this fear is controlling you. You're no longer in control of yourself. The fear that you created, is now in control over you. So how do you stop it? Think about it like this. If you're the one who created the fear, you can be the one who destroys the fear and gets rid of the fear. If you're the cause of a negative action, then you can counteract it with a positive action. Instead of thinking of what bad could happen, what bad could go wrong, think about what good that could happen. Instead of thinking, well, X, Y, and Z could happen, how about A, B, and C could happen? There's a counterpart to everything. It's just a matter of how you're looking at it. And then instead of looking at it from a big picture, break that big picture down into small pieces. So let's say you want to get, all right, better yet, let's say this is where you're at right here, okay? This is you. But you want to get right here, right? Instead of looking at this right here, break it down into small steps and so on. And then focus on completing each step individually. One step completed. Acknowledge when you complete that step. Feel how good it feels. Take it in. Then go on to the next step. Complete that step. Before you know it, you'll be to completed each step and got into the big picture. And what you're actually doing when you're doing this is you're eliminating fear. Through each step. And you're building confidence. Through each step. And it makes you feel more better about yourself. Okay? So the next one is not setting or pursuing goals. Not setting or pursuing goals. If you don't set goals, then how can you know where you're going? How can you say that you want to do something, but you haven't set any steps to get there? Let's go back. When we talk about setting goals, okay, the goal is to get to here. This is what you want to pursue, right? This is the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate goal that you want to reach right there. So you have to set steps. And then you have to pursue each individual step. And while you're doing that, what you're actually doing is pursuing your ultimate goal. But if you don't set these steps, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a plan on how to go about getting to your idea, then you're not going to be able to get there. It's just like when you're going out of town and you set your GPS on how to go about to get there. It's taking you through each direction, through each route, through each interstate. It is guiding you along the way to reach your destination. That's all setting goals is about, is pursuing your destination step by step. So if you're not willing to do this, then it's hard to take you serious on when you say you want to do something. Because nobody just gets up and just makes it happen without having a goal. Now, there are some people who are good at not having to write it down, not having to see it, because they can just see it in their head and they just go ahead and make it happen. But if you are not that person, then by all means, start writing down what it is that you want to do. Start mapping it out step by step, and then start tackling those steps individually, one at a time. And no matter how long it takes, do not get caught up in, I want to complete this in a week. If you want to complete it in a week, that's okay. But if you don't complete it in a week, that's okay as well. Because the thing that's going to happen is, even though you're starting right here, you may not reach here within a week, but you've reached somewhere in between there within a week. And the same thing with this one here. You've reached your first step, and then you're trying to reach the second step. You may not reach that second step at the deadline that you set for yourself, but don't beat yourself up about that, because you've landed somewhere in between here. Okay? So my point is, you've made progress and you're continuously making progress. Focus on the progress that you've made. This is where you go back and say, okay, what could I have done different? How could I have done it better? What worked? What didn't work? And for that which worked, how could I have done it even better? And for what didn't work, how could I have done it differently? What did I learn? And through that learning, you'll grow, you'll get stronger, you'll get better. So, on to the next one. All right. The next one is overthinking. Sometimes we can overthink on something to the point to where we just think ourselves out of it altogether. Have you ever done that? I have many times. In fact, every point that I'm speaking on here right now, I've done. Some of them I still struggle with, which means I'm a work in progress. And I say this to you so that you understand that it's okay to be a work in progress, but just do it while you're being a work in progress, because that's how you learn, that's how you grow, that's how you get better, that's how you get stronger, that's how you make progress. Okay, so when you're overthinking something, you're taking away from the time that you could be actually doing it and you could be actually learning. See, what you're doing is you're trying to think about every step of the way and how it's going to work and how it's going to go. I don't know how many times I've had people sit and tell me every step of the way they were going to start a business, what they were going to do, how much money they were going to make, how they were going to go about it, only to never do it at all. And I just sit and I listen and I just ask specific questions, but they don't get it because they're too caught up in talking about it, fantasizing about it, overthinking it to the point to where they're so exhausted from talking about it and fantasizing about it and in imagining everything that could go right and everything that can go wrong to the point to where they're tired. They feel like they've already done it where they haven't done anything except for talk about it. And they end up talking themselves right out of it. The real joy isn't actually doing it. That's where the real joy is at. That's where the experience comes from. That's where the fun and the excitement comes from. It should always be exciting because it's an experience that you're having. So stop overthinking whatever it is that you want to do and just go ahead and do it. Feel good about it every step of the way. Don't let nobody steal your joy from you. Especially don't steal your own joy from you. It's so important for you to realize how important your thoughts and your feelings about yourself are. Because you're going to have so many people out there who are not going to feel the same way about whatever it is you want to do, the same way you feel about it. They're not going to feed into it the way that you feed into it. They're not going to feel about it the way that you feel about it. They're not going to see it, imagine, or visualize it the same way that you do. It's your baby. You have to be the one to raise it, to take care of it, to grow it, to build it. You have to be the one to invest in it. And then when other people see your effort, your time, your growth, then maybe you might get some people who feed into it, start seeing it, start believing it, willing to invest in it, whether it be time, money, whatever it may be. But whether that happens or not, you have to be the one. And again, this is for whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's big or small. It could be from losing weight to eating healthier to starting your own business. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, it's the same across the board. You have to set goals for yourself, and you have to start pursuing that goal through small steps. So stop overthinking it. Stop being your own worst enemy and start being your best friend. Start recognizing that you have the ability to make happen whatever it is that you put your mind to. You just have to be willing to go through whatever it is that it's going to take for you to make it happen. All right. So these here are internal habits that we have. I want to cover some external factors that could affect our confidence in a negative way. All right. So, one is negative criticism. These are things that happen outside of us from other people. Negative criticism, receiving constant, hard criticism, whether from others or even yourself, can make you question your abilities and worth. We've already talked about it from yourself. I've touched on it in regards to outside people criticizing you, downtrodden you, saying negative things to you and your goals, your ideas, your dreams, your desires, your ambitions. That's why it's so important for you to be good to yourself, to speak only life into yourself. Because when you speak negative, you're speaking death. Why? Because you're killing anything good. You're killing anything positive. And when someone outside of you, whether it be a family, a friend, loved one, whoever, when they start criticizing you, down talking you, they're speaking death into you. They're not speaking life. Because anything that makes you feel down is taking away from you. Anything that makes you feel up is giving to you. It's instilling something in you. That's why for every step that you make while setting and pursuing your goals, acknowledge it, celebrate it, take pride in it. Even if you don't share it with someone else, because again, everybody's not going to celebrate with you. But it's important that you celebrate yourself. So if you have people around you who's always criticizing you and always being negative, always downtrodden you, and it could be something as simple as you sit and tell a person of a good deed that occurred for you in your life, and they just brush it off as if it isn't nothing. Or they go and tell you about someone else who's done the same thing. They downplay yours, but upplay theirs. Or they tell you how such and such is doing a better job than you, and you should be doing it like them, and you should be doing this. You need to question whether or not you should have that person around you. You should need to question whether or not you should be sharing certain things with this person or not. Are they benefiting you or are they hindering you? Do they make you feel good about yourself or do they make you feel bad about yourself? And I hate to say the word make. Do they allow you to feel good about yourself or do they not allow you to feel good about yourself? And remember, no one can allow anything except for you. So you have to understand that if this person is always speaking negatively towards you and criticizing you in a bad way, you're allowing that. And if you're allowing it, you can stop allowing it. You can say, hey, I don't like how you keep talking to me and you make me feel bad about myself, actually. Could you not do that anymore? It's as simple as that. And if they choose to continue on, then you need to make a decision. And you can let them know if you continue on, then I'm not going to be able to hang around with you anymore. I'm not going to be able to allow you in my space anymore because every time you come around and every time when we talk, you're always criticizing me. You're always knocking whatever it is that I'm trying to do. And I'm really serious about this and I'm passionate about it. But it seems like you just keep talking down about it. And I don't need that right now. I need people around me who are going to speak, who's going to who's going to respect what it is that I'm trying to do. And if they can't show any respect for it, then you need to make a decision. And it's okay for you to stop dealing with those people, or just deal with them on another level. And if they come, and if whereas and you just don't speak about it anymore, you don't talk about what it is that you want to do, your desires, your ambitions, your goals, whatever it is that you're after anymore with them. You just deal with them on a whole nother level. But I can tell you, after a while, you'll end up not wanting to deal with them at all, because you're you're operating on another level. So if you have to come down to a lower level to deal with them, then you have to stop operating on this level to come down here to deal with them. I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. It's okay to let some people go in order to move forward, because some people can hold you back. They can keep you down. And you're the only person that's really responsible for you. As an adult, that is. As long as you're able and capable of taking care of yourself, tending to yourself, you are responsible for yourself. So that's negative criticism. Next one is people pleasing. Always trying to satisfy others people's happiness, others people's needs, and putting yourself last. Always trying to make sure that everyone else feels good, even though they're not concerned on whether or not you are good or you feel good. People pleasing is basically putting others' needs before your own, or suppressing your true feelings to appease people, and this can erode your sense of self and confidence. So you start losing yourself because you're always putting everyone else first. Sometimes we have to learn to be selfish. And we also have to learn to say no. In fact, I encourage you, in those areas where you might feel like you're being used, or feel like you're being asked a lot of, and it's not being reciprocated, I encourage you to start using the word no, just to see how people react. And that'll tell you a lot about a person. If they can't respect your no, that says something. And if they can respect your no, that also says something. If they can't, then that lets you know, oh, they expect me to do this for them every time. They expect me to be here. They expect me to be this way for them every single time. But if they respect your no, then they understand that you can't do it all the time. But they appreciate when you're able to. It's important to recognize the value of yourself, because you can push other people and put them on a pedestal, and they'll get up and they'll grow and they'll move on, and you'll still be standing in the same position. I used to be that person. I would stop everything I'm doing that I want to do for myself, and I would go and help this person do this, help that person go and do that, and they would be shining, they would be eating, they would just be blowing up and doing all kind of great things. And I'm still sitting here struggling, trying to figure out how I'm gonna pay a cell phone bill or a car note. And nobody's here around me. But then they call and they need something else, and I'd stop and I'd go and help them again, until one day I had to realize, hold up. Why is it that I'm the one always running to your rescue, but when it comes to me, nobody's around, nobody's here, nobody even knows when I'm going through something, because nobody ever stops to ask, how is everything going with you? Is there anything I could do to help you? Are you okay? So I had to learn to stop putting other people first and start thinking about myself first in order to accomplish whatever it is that I was interested in accomplishing. I used to have a lot of people in my presence, a lot of people around. Now I have no one, or I shouldn't say no one, I just have a couple of people. But they're people who are these are people who are constantly in my life every single day. And they don't expect anything from me that that I couldn't expect from them, basically. So stop putting everybody else first. You don't have to do that. That's a choice. Everything here is a choice. And if you can choose one way, then you can flip it and choose another way. You just have to understand that that's your own prerogative. You have the right to do that. And no one has the right to tell you that you can't, because this is your life. And in your life, there are certain things that you want, certain things that you desire. And in order to achieve them, your mind has to be in the right place and you have to be focused on that task in order to reach it. You have to be. So that means you can't have all these distractions, these interferences. And it's a distraction and interference if it takes you away from what it is that you are trying to accomplish. If it doesn't help you towards it, it's a distraction. It's an interference. Now, if you choose, because it is a choice, and you're okay with the distraction or interference, then that's another thing. I know this is a distraction. I know this is interfering with me doing what I got to do, but I really feel the need to go and do this right here, right now. It's a choice. It's a conscious decision. But when we're people pleasing, a lot of times we're doing it unconsciously. We don't realize that this is taking us away from what it is that we want to do. I'm actually helping somebody else achieve what they want to do or what they want to accomplish. But while I'm doing that, what it is that I want to do and what I want to accomplish is not getting met. You have to create boundaries. You have to balance. On to the next one. And this is the last one. Surrounding yourself with negative people. Surrounding yourself with negative people. Spending time with individuals who are critical, jealous, or who tear you down, this can be toxic to your confidence. People who are always complaining, they never see the good in anything. Everything is bad. Everything and everyone is against them. They don't like what this person is doing, what that person is doing. They don't like with what's going on around them, even though it may all be positive and it may all be good, but they for some reason see nothing but negativity in it. This is a toxic individual. You want to separate yourself from that, because that toxicity will eventually rub off on you. And I'm sure some of you can relate to the things that I am saying here. You want to be around people who are positive, people who are trying to accomplish something in their life. Because what that'll do is rub off on you. You'll see them doing great things and it'll make you want to do something great. And then you'll start, without even knowing, attempting to do something great in your life. But if you're around people who are always negative and always toxic, then you're going to start feeding off of that, and it's going to start playing a role in your life without you even knowing it. And it's going to seem like the norm because it's what you're constantly around. I always tell a person like such that's negative and toxic that there's a different way to think. There's a different way to be. Now, whether or not they're willing to look at it, explore it, believe it, is on them. But there is a different way to be. There's a different way to look at things. There's a different way to live compared to the way that you may be living. There's a better way to live. You can see it out there. It's not just for specific people. It's for whoever wants it. And as you find yourself moving towards it, you'll find yourself moving away from things as well. Because negative and positive can't occupy the same space at one time. Good and bad can't occupy the same space at one time. It's either one or the other. It's yin and yang. You have up and down, good and bad, in and out, right or left, positive or negative. It's one or the other. It's never both at the same time. So you have to choose what it is that you want for your life. You have to choose, and when you're choosing what it is that you want, you're going to find yourself having to choose the type of people you want to be around, the type of people that you want around you, the type of conversations you're willing to be engaged in, the type of conversations you refuse to engage in. You're going to find yourself having to make certain decisions. And again, whatever it is that you want, it could be something small or something big. But believe me, that something small is big. Okay? And that something big may seem small to someone else. You just have to know what it is that you want, know and believe that you can achieve it, and be willing to go after it vigorously by any means necessary, with all your might, with all your heart, with all your ambition, with all your desire. And you will accomplish it. And it will make you feel good about yourself. It will empower you. It will make you feel like, what else can I actually accomplish? What else can I do with my life? You have a purpose. You have a reason for being here. And it's not to beat yourself down. It's not to feel like you're not capable. It's not to feel like you're not worthy. It's not to feel like you're not good enough. Because you are, or else you wouldn't be here. Every day you wake up, you're given a new opportunity, a new chance to go after what it is that you want, to get whatever you didn't get right yesterday, to get right today. You should be using it wisely. You should be using it to your best ability to grow, to better yourself in every way possible. It's your life. You can live it however you want to live it. But I'm saying, if it's something that you want to do out there, you're able to do it. And I'm here to encourage you to do it. It's just it's just a matter of how it is that you're looking at it. And I don't know if anyone's telling you, and I don't know if anyone's told you. So I'm telling you. And if someone has, I'm just telling you again then. You have to get your mind in the right place, and you have to start getting focused. Because life is short. I said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it again. Life is short and it moves fast. You don't want to end up at a point in your life where you have regrets and you wish you would have done things different, or you wish that you would have done things before and not be able to do them now. And what I mean by that is, as we get older, I'm speaking at an older age now, okay? So as we get older, we tend to look back at when we were younger. and all the things that we did and all the things that we could have done. But we thought we had all the time in the world, only to realize we don't have all the time in the world. So when I say this, I'm saying do what it is that you have to do to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. Because what it is that you do today affects you in your future. And if you are able to do it, then you should be willing to do it. Because you don't know what the future holds for you. The people in your life right now may not be in your life down the line. They may move on and go and do other things. You may move on and go and do other things. And lo and behold, they go and do something and make something out of themselves, and you still sit here stuck, wishing, wanting, and now wondering, what if? And they was the toxic one. They was the negative one. But somewhere down the line, they woke up and decided it's time for me to go and make something happen. When you could be making something happen right now, but you sitting here dealing with this nonsense and people pleasing and criticizing and beating your own self down because they criticizing and beating you down and you believing it. Now is the time for you to start looking at yourself through a different lens and realizing that you are worthy of whatever it is that you want for your life. And I'm going to leave it on that note. As always, it's time to get your mind right and get focused. I'm your boy Herb Smith, and until the next episode, peace.